We're very glad you could join us. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I am Bukola Koka, standing in for your regular anchor, Jeffrey Uzongo. The top stories. Emir of Kano, His Highness Muhammadu Sanusi II, says corrupt politicians should be punished and not rewarded with political appointments. And women of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, advocate for more inclusion in politics and governance. And welcome once again. The Emir of Kano, His Highness Muhammadu Sanusi II, has called for a regeneration of the value system in the country. Speaking on our political program, Politics Today, the Emir says most of those who go into public service today go in for the wrong reasons, and the system needs to stop rewarding those who stole the nation's commonwealth with more public office opportunities. He asks for a strengthening of the civil service so that it can champion a good value system, especially for public office holders.
The truth is, many people that you have in public office today were simply not well brought up. So from a very young age, you taught certain values. You taught the importance of honesty and integrity. You taught the importance of human rights. You know it's important to leave a good name. You know that when you go into public office, it's an opportunity to serve. You don't go into public office in order to make money. Now, many of the people that have assumed office since then simply did not have that upbringing. They did not have that training. And many people go into government for the wrong reasons. You do not go into government to make money. If you want to make money, you become a businessman. Aliko Dangote is the richest man in Africa. He has never been a commissioner or a governor or a minister. So I think the entire value system of the country has been eroded. We have been ruled by people who have no values, people who come from, they have no names behind them, and they have no desire to leave a name after them. These are people who define themselves by what they own, how many houses they have, how many private jets they have, how many billions they have in bank accounts. And they think that is something. It is not important to them that people look at them and they only see thieves, they see criminals, they see people who have taken away the commonwealth. It is simply not important because for them, the values do not matter. So I think we need an entire regeneration of values. It is not about one person. The president or the governor or a minister cannot on his own change this country. The civil service will have to remain the backbone for the regeneration of this country's values. And the best way to do this is to protect civil servants. How many permanent secretaries can say no to the minister? How many permanent secretaries can say no to the president without being fired, without being removed, without being persecuted? We need to go back to strengthening the civil service, to supporting the civil service, to empowering civil servants, and teaching them that they can say no if they are asked to break a rule and nothing will happen to them. Now that is really
As Nigerians look forward to 2027, a bit of criticism has gone out to political parties who will be in the thick of the action, vying for offices. And the former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Mr. Uche Secondus, is faulting the way politicians view and manage such political parties in Nigeria, describing them as mere platforms for winning elections. Mr. Secondus made this remark in Abuja at the public presentation of his books on the leadership of the PDP.
The former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Uche Secondus, the 2023 presidential aspirant of the party, Mr. Mohammed Hayatuddin, and other prominent members of the party are attending the public presentation of the books on the leadership of the PDP titled Bubbles of Nigerian Democracy and the Wadata Wonders. Expectedly, the focus of conversations here centered on democracy and Nigeria's political system.
Until we establish a proper democratic political parties where people will stay 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, as the case may be, build, reconstruct, and we are still far from getting to a point where we can say we have democracy. We don't have democracy in our country. There's none. What we have is platform for winning election.
Writing books such as these requires not just an intellectual journey through history. It demands courage, discipline, and a certain moral conviction. It is not easy to tell the truth, especially in a country where power often demands silence.
The public lecture, which was delivered by the former President General Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, Mr. John Modo, is titled "How Did We Get Here?", highlighting the degeneration in governance, public infrastructure, security, and fiscal policies.
Since President Tinubu assumed office in 2023, public debt has jumped by 65%. A fresh $24 billion borrowing, which is on offer, may balloon Nigeria's debt to 183 trillion. Today, there is the dictatorship of the political parties. Candidates are imposed on the people without transparent primaries. In some cases, no primaries take place at all. Governors have become appointing authorities for candidates for elective offices in their states. Our electoral system has become corrupted and unattractive to honest
And amid concerns about heightened politicking in the polity and the need to focus on governance, we take a look at one of the subnationals this afternoon with real questions on development. And joining us is the Commissioner for Information in Imo State, Mr. Declan Melumba, who joins us virtually from Imo. Good afternoon, Mr. Melumba. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Let's start with what may be progress in the last couple of days in Imo State, and which is the arrest of the former council, of the suspected murderers of the former council boss in Imo State, in Idiato North to be precise, after about 2 years. But there are still concerns about security in Idiato North to be precise, particularly with the killing of 7 persons a couple of days ago, which raises concern about the real progress or lack of it in the area of security in Imo State.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's important for us to first applaud the security agencies for apprehending the killers of the local government chairman, because that was a very gruesome event where the former local government chairman was beheaded. It took some time, but the most important thing is that eventually he was arrested, and I think the government should be commended for the going all out to ensure that he was arrested. Yes, like you said, there were also some killings there about 2-3 weeks ago. That doesn't really, I mean, like we always say, the security situation in Imo is far better than it was 2-3 years ago. That doesn't mean that we have a completely safe Imo State. Like every other society, you still have security breaches here and there. And that does not in any way suggest that the situation is getting worse. No. As far as I'm concerned, these cases are not as constant, as frequent as they used to be in the past. And that shows that there has been an improvement, a reasonable improvement. But what is important, I think what is most important is that these days, you don't get away with committing crime in Imo. You will be apprehended and brought to book. These people who killed about 7 people in Idato South local government recently, they will also be brought to book. That is for certain. Like His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State said, the security agencies are already on their trail, and sooner than later, they will be brought to book. So the message is you cannot get away with committing crime in Imo State. If you commit a crime, you will be apprehended and brought to book. That is the message, and that is a very, very important message indeed.
But there are still serious questions about security in Imo State, and not just in Imo now, in the southeast. Let's look at it holistically. An intelligence report by an independent body, SBM Intelligence, titled 4 Years of Disruption, Unmasking the Impact of IPOB Sit-at-Home Order in Southeast Nigeria. This is how it describes the impact of security concerns in Imo State over the last couple of years. It says that transportation blockades, how agricultural products have often rot due to transportation blockades, and how investor confidence, both local and international, has plummeted based on their risk assessment. That's looking at it holistically now. And it puts the loss in the southeast to about 7.6 trillion naira. And this is the second tenure of the administration of your principal governor, Hope Uzodimma. So if the security challenge has not been tackled sufficiently, now when will it be such that there can now be meaningful economic development in Imo State?
Well, like you said, holistically, this one you're talking is about the IPOB sit-at-home, which is something that is not peculiar to Imo State. But even at that, I can tell you that in Imo State, the sit-at-home thing is almost history, because ask anybody who is living in Imo State, he will tell you that at least within our metropolis, people don't observe it again because they know that it is not in their interest. Maybe in the villages, some people, out of fear, because even those who impose the sit-at-home have come out openly to say that they have withdrawn it. But I think our people, maybe some out of fear, still don't want to take the risk. So when you put it holistically in the southeast, well, yes, it obviously is doing some damage to the economy of the southeast. There's no question about that, because that means a lot of loss of man hours, a lot of loss of valuable entrepreneurship that could have been put to play to help the economy of the southeast. So, but the question is, the government, I believe the government, I can speak for my own state government anyway. Imo State government, we have done everything to reassure the people that they are free to come out and work on Mondays. And I think they are responding. They are even in the villages, some of them have started responding, and they have seen that they are safe, because if they come out on Mondays, I don't think there has been any recent incident in Imo State related to sit-at-home. So we have been able to really checkmate that. And it's not impacting the economy as negatively as it was doing maybe when it started. So I think that with time, it will also go through all other states in the southeast, and people will begin to realize that this is not in the interest of the people, and that whether you sit at home or you don't sit at home, it doesn't really advance any cause. What is important is that you have to survive, and I think people are beginning to realize that it is necessary for them to work so that they can survive, they can take care of themselves. But like I said, in Imo, the situation is far, far better than it was before.
Not necessarily what is coming through to us. We understand that the sit-at-home, Monday sit-at-home order is still quite effective in the rural areas in the southeast, maybe not in Owerri, the state capital. And that speaks to economic development or the lack of it in the rural areas in the southeast, which is where I'm headed now. Time and again, there is a concern about the justification for increased allocation to the subnationals, following the economic policies of the federal government at the federal level. So many are asking, what is the physical evidence on ground to show that indeed the subnationals have received by about 50% increase allocations from the federal government? So we'd like to know what is on ground, and not just in the capital now, but investment, meaningful investment in infrastructure. I understand that we have audio connections challenges through to Mr. Melumba, but we'll get to him if network connections, I beg your pardon. But if we're unable to get to him, there'll be more to come. In a major boost to police welfare and security infrastructure, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, has commissioned ultra-modern residential and office complexes at the Bompai and Zaria Road Police Barracks in Kano State. The projects are part of nationwide police reforms designed to improve living conditions and operational efficiency of officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force. Our correspondent Sadiq Ilyasu reports from Kano.
A ceremonial welcome in Kano as the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, arrives to commission a major infrastructure upgrade at the Bompai and Zaria Road Police Barracks. The project includes over 100 modern apartments, an office block, a state armory, a state workshop, an exhibit store, and a network of tarred roads with drainages, all built to improve welfare and enhance policing capacity.
Today, we gather not only to commission structures, but to commission hope, restore dignity, and signal a new resolve to stay focused on our commitment to police welfare and institutional development. In the complex equation of national security, we often speak of firepower, intelligence, and strategy. But the true foundation of any security architecture is far more human. The morale, welfare, and living conditions of those who serve. For too long, that foundation has been uneven. Today, here in Kano, we lay a new kind of cornerstone. What stands before us are not just housing units or administrative blocks. They are visible outcomes of a leadership philosophy that prioritizes the person behind the badge.
The IGP, flanked by police officers, commissioned the project while reaffirming his commitment to reforms that promote professionalism and effective policing.
The Kano State Police Command will remain committed to ensure the safety and security of life and property. Will continue to work more effectively to maintain peace and stability, leveraging on these new facilities to enhance our welfare, administrative, and operational capabilities. I therefore thank you, sir, for your unwavering support and leadership. We look for your professional guidance, and we advance in our quest to provide improved security services to the good people of Kano State based on international best practices.
The facilities are expected to serve officers across 11 area commands, 78 divisions, and 2 police mobile force squadrons operating in Kano. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
And from Kano, we return to Imo State, where I understand that the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Declan Melumba, is back with us. So welcome back, Mr. Melumba. I was asking about the increase in allocation and evidence for justification of this allocation from the federal government to the state in Imo, in areas of meaningful development. Perhaps you want to help us understand what's happening in that space.
Okay, thank you very much for having me back. Well, I want to start by saying that my governor is the first person to acknowledge that there has been an increase in allocation and that it is impacting on development projects in Imo State. And the evidence is very, very, very palpable. We are constructing an iconic Assumpta flyover bridge, which is the cost is in billions. We are also doing a federal government road, the one from Owerri to Port Harcourt, to the boundary of Port Harcourt and Rivers and Imo. It's been dualized. The contract was recently awarded, running into billions. I know that initial payment of 34 billion was made immediately for the contractors to move into site. And they are right there now working. And they were also doing the Umuahia Road, dualized, which is about almost completed. So there is evidence, clear evidence that this thing is impacting on development. And so many of them, we are building a digital city, which has been acknowledged by international subscribers of the digital economy as one of the best that can be seen around here. So there is evidence that there is increased revenue because of the removal of subsidy. And there is also a corresponding evidence that it is being deployed very effectively for the good and development of Imo.
Can you also tell us about the evidence of that also in primary healthcare infrastructure in Imo State? We just had report coming through from the health sector of that 155 deaths have been recorded so far, which speaks to, the challenge of primary healthcare infrastructure across the country. So how is the Imo State government tackling that, by the way, to strengthen the primary healthcare system?
Okay, thank you very much. Right now, the Imo State government is embarking on construction of model primary health care centers in every ward in Imo State. That is about 305 INEC wards in Imo State. It is a model primary health care center. So that one is ongoing. And as we speak, there is the Imo.
I must thank very much Mr. Declan Melumba, the Commissioner for Information, Imo State, for joining us on this particular one. And this is where we drop the anchor on today's edition of Lunchtime Politics. You have been served. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again next week. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.